Welcome to NBA Luxury, the most underrated basketball channel on YouTube. Some of the NBA stars have been able to be extraordinary in more than one discipline. Specifically, sports journalism is a common outlet for former players in the league as their experience can add detail to game analysis. This is the case for Charles Barkley, who along with Shaquille O'Neal form one of the most fearsome duos in all NBA coverage. Charles is known for being critical and candid about player performance, as being a former Hall of Famer puts him in a position to be completely honest with his comments. But sometimes he does go overboard, so here are 7 times Charles Barkley disrespected players on the mic. Philadelphia is a tough town. The fans are also very critical of their players, sometimes even booing their own team. The absence of Ben Simmons during the first half of last season added to the anger of the fan base as they watched their max star player sit out despite presumably being ready to play. After sending Ben to Brooklyn in exchange for James Harden, the performance of the one-time MVP was not as good as expected. With the playoffs approaching, Barkley, a former Sixers player, decided to send Harden a warning.
James Harden, you said you don't feel no pressure. Man, you better think again. Them people in Philadelphia ain't gonna be having you going out there playing bad. So you can say, I want to call it deflection or whatever. You got more pressure on you than any player in the playoffs. Wow. Good luck now, because my Sixers, I love y'all Sixers and my sons, but James, don't tell that lie.
He just called Harden a liar on live national television. Charles really doesn't care about anything. However, there are times when he encounters a player with a personality similar to his own. Draymond Green is one of them. In an original NBA press conference during a Golden State Warriors warm-up, Barkley tells Green the following.
Dre, why are you shooting the ball in warm-up and you never shoot it in the game?
I shoot when I have to, Chuck. I shoot when I have to, when I need to win championships. Also, Chuck, you're not going to keep going at our fans.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm going to keep going at these fans. I promise you that. They going to get all the smoke they want, my brother.
They got more rings than you, Chuck.
Hey, I know they do, but they got to go back to their life. I'm going to go home and be Charles Barkley. I'm going to feel pretty good about my life.
You got a pretty good life. I want your life too, Chuck.
Thank you, brother.
It's true that Charles had no problem shooting a lot at the basket, but Draymond is by no means a worse shooter than Barkley was. However, Barkley's interior dominance was much better in comparison to the Warriors. A former teammate of Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, has always been highly criticized by the press. His decision to join the Bay Area franchise in 2016 is still debated even to this day, although the way it's done has changed, as Barkley does with the famous bus driver scene.
No, don't tell me you're a great player if they can slow you down. Thank you, Shaq, tell them.
I'm with Chuck on
Come on, man. Don't tell me you're a great player. I mean, all these guys can play, but please don't tell me you're a great player and you're averaging 20. Come on now. I don't think I ever played in the playoffs and averaged 20.
Here we go. Is Kevin Durant a great player?
He is.
And he's been stifled by Boston.
And
I was going to go there.
And let me tell you something. I don't want to badmouth the dude, but I see you guys always talk about that championship stuff. I try to tell y'all, all these bus riders, they don't mean nothing to me. If you ain't driving the bus, don't walk around talking about you're a champion. If you riding the bus, I don't want to hear it. Come on, Shaq, tell them. All these guys walk around with these championship rings. Hey, y'all bus riders. But let me tell you something.
Row, Chuck.
When you the bus driver and you got all that pressure where you have to play well or you're going to get the blame, that's a different animal.
Certainly a great analogy. Durant's decision will always bring about debate, especially if at the end of the career, he fails to win at least one more ring with another team. However, these type of decisions when it comes to forming super teams have always been questioned. If not, just ask Kevin Garnett when he decided to take his talents to the city of Boston. KG and Barkley have a friendly relationship, as well as having played together in the league for 5 seasons. This didn't stop Charles from being wild in front of the mic once again.
You know, Gary, you're in the Hall of Fame. Shaq, you're in the Hall of Fame. I'm in the Hall of Fame. Kevin, you're borderline Hall of Famer. Gary,
borderline.
Me and Shaq have been talking
Champion.
Champion.
It's all good. Champion. It's all good. I'm a champion, too. Go ahead. Shaq, you're a champion. Gary, you're a champion. Kenny, you're a champion. You know, Chuck, you almost a champion. Keep going. Go ahead.
The best part is that Barkley knows exactly what topic they are going to bring up, as he is one of the best players in history who wasn't able to win a ring. But Charles is a guy who could care less about what anyone thinks of him. Zion Williamson has had a plethora of injuries during his short career in the league. In fact, despite being drafted in 2019, he has played only 114 games in the NBA. As Zion was preparing to return to play during the beginning of last season, Barkley would say a phrase that would practically make Shaq walk right off the TV set.
Warming up, we don't have him. It could be another 2-3 weeks, but Chuck, you had a visceral reaction to this.
It looked like me and Shaq had a baby.
The reaction was priceless. I can think of few work environments where I would have a better time than in the TNT studios. But these former players are the stars of national television when it comes to the NBA, and they can pretty much say whatever they want. When Lonzo Ball was still playing for the Lakers, no one knew his true ceiling. After being selected second overall in the 2017 draft, high-profile comparisons like Jason Kidd were mentioned next to the name of the eldest son of the Ball family. However, despite more than proving he was a player with the talent to enjoy a long NBA career, his performance wasn't as excellent as one might have imagined, and Laker fans precisely do not respond pleasantly to failure. After a game in which the Lakers beat the Pacers, Barkley comments on this while watching the game stats.
Lonzo Ball had a triple single.
I've told you, they thought he wasn't going to play with a sprained ankle.
Well, he had 2 points. He didn't play.
Okay.
Charles is an expert in creating cliches, and even Durant on occasion has used them against him. After the criticism and the bus driver, KD, who doesn't shy away from social media, went after Barkley used the same argument he gave on the show.
Easy money sniper, that'd be KD.
Yeah. He put a picture of me and 3 old guys on there. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
He had a couple, though.
Yeah.
Had this one. Where would Chuck be without the big homies?
Oh, we didn't win anything together there. When I was a bus driver, I didn't win anything just like him.
Who was the bus driver on that bunch?
Well, nobody. I was a rookie and they were all past their prime.
There you go.
Hey, listen, I don't have.
I didn't see that one.
What we about to do is go back in time.
Charles' ability to hit it where it hurts the most is worthy of study. But honestly, Durant and Charles Barkley are pretty alike. Neither cares what anyone has to say about them. It may be that players sometimes care too much about what the press has to say about them. But it's also true that the narrative the media creates directly affects public opinion. It is clear, though, that Charles is never going to change. And as long as he remains on TV, players will continue to take a shot from time to time. This has been 7 times Charles Barkley disrespected players on the mic.